We are 22S Radio, the next wave of K-Beach. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles.
And now, 22S Radio proudly presents our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
Getting tangled up.
Yes,
This is episode 59 of Beyond the Ropes. Getting tangled up here in the earphones, the headphones here. But yeah, 59 episodes. We're almost at 60 next week. We'll be there, and so much to discuss this week in the world of sports entertainment and professional wrestling. I guess the biggest news this week, we briefly talked about it on your show on Monday when I took over as the guest host. But yes, Hulk Hogan has been reinstated into the WWE Hall of Fame after a 3-year suspension. So there's been a lot of back and forth. A lot of people are happy to have him back, and there are a lot of people that aren't happy to have him back. So
I mean, I think it's a very touchy subject considering, he was in hot water for so many different things. And first it was like, a tape, obviously, where...
It was that tape that where he said those words, that offensive remark.
Oh yeah, that too.
So that was the main. I think that was the main reason why he was.
I think most people are accustomed to him doing leg drops, not doing the hibbity dibbity.
Right. So
absolutely, it was very interesting to look at social media's response. It's been very mixed with his reinstatement. Apparently, this past Sunday at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, before the show, he apologized in front of the entire roster. And it seemed like a lot of people were very genuine and genuinely accepting of his apology, but there were definitely some people that are staying away from it. The New Day released a comment or a post regarding that issue, Titus O'Neil as well, and so there are a couple of people where they're not completely on board with Hogan being back, but they're not against it either, at least completely. And so I guess we'll see where that goes. It was rumored that the apology that he gave on Sunday, a technical difficulty there, but it seemed like it was filmed, the apology this past Sunday, so we might see it for a 24 special on the network, maybe? I don't know.
Of course, before we continue, we are always on with the hashtag
Ask questions.
And we are currently on Live Me, correct?
Yes.
And how do they find us, Sarah?
Live Pro Wrestling Radio Show. Somebody does say already, how is your day going?
It's going great. Thanks for asking. How's yours? We are on Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, where you can find our videos, any additional predictions or comments that we have.
Do you play video games, apparently? Okay.
Is that a question?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a
Not really. I'll play the 2K games, the WWE games. That's about it. No video games for me. I don't know what Rob does.
I'm poor, so I have the PS2 wrestling games.
All right, so let's get into the Extreme Rules results. Did you catch the pay-per-view, or did you?
No, but I read about it. Most of our predictions pretty much came true.
All right, well, this match was added last minute, so we didn't even get to give our predictions for this one, but it was Andrade Cien Almas taking on Sin Cara in a SmackDown rematch from last week. Great opening contest in the kickoff show. Andrade gave another stellar performance against the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, on SmackDown. Great match, so a lot of big things for Almas. But he picked up the victory against Sin Cara after hitting that hammerlock DDT that he uses for his finishing maneuver. Then we got to see Sanity take on the New Day in a tables match, a really fun match. This match, given more time, really what could have been a show-stealing performance, and really belongs on the main card, but it was on the kickoff show. Sanity picked up their first victory after losing like 2 straight weeks in a row, so I'm glad that they finally picked up a victory, and it looks like we're going to see bigger and better things from Sanity, because Eric Young took on Kofi Kingston on SmackDown this past week, and defeated him. So it looks like Sanity's finally getting on this roll. Hopefully, they have big plans for them at SummerSlam. I don't know if they're going to continue this New Day rivalry, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were to do that.
Hopefully they go for gold. Oh wow, okay, more live. And this is very interesting because it seems that there's, aside from hearts, there's these arrow icons. If you were given, okay, that's, I mean, we're trying to talk mostly wrestling stuff, but apparently they asked, what do you do if you were given $1 million?
I'd go to a wrestling show.
Yeah.
I go to several wrestling shows. Let's see, we'll bring it back to wrestling in some way. There's a lot of things I would do. Interesting question, but yeah, I would actually go to several wrestling shows. Speaking of wrestling shows, NXT TakeOver is coming to Los Angeles, along with Survivor Series and Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So, those tickets should be available soon. So, if anyone is in the LA area, go ahead and check that out.
I like how their username was Dear Cereal.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The opening contest for the main card pay-per-view was the B Team taking on Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Now, you predicted the B Team winning, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I did not think they had a chance, but they actually picked up the victory.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to split if they didn't win already.
I don't know, it's just that they've been on a roll. It made me think that they weren't going to win. It also, I don't know, I just didn't see it. I didn't see it possible. But you were right there. You got the prediction correct. I think we both predicted Sanity, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we both got that
About
one right.
time.
But you said the B Team, and they picked up the victory. They picked up another victory against the Ascension on Monday. Quick match.
The Ascension's going nowhere. They've just been there.
Unfortunately, they were huge in NXT.
It's like they say, they're from the wasteland, and this seems like they're just staying in the wasteland.
They're being put to waste because they're good workers, and they have an interesting character and look to them. But the B Team has been looking strong in recent weeks, and they will face the Deleters of Worlds for their rematch next Monday on Raw. So
I wonder if it'll be a deletion type of match.
they didn't say that, but it might lead to one, maybe. Hopefully it does, because I would love to see more Hardy Compound stuff. We've only seen the Ultimate Deletion, which was with Bray,
Wow.
but it would be great to see more on WWE television. So.
But I mean, there's not that many incarnations of Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas.
No, but I'm sure there's other ways to get involved with certain things. I mean, well, they have the Bo Dallas, Bo Leave stuff
Yeah.
that they could do. The Curtis Axel could be kind of like
His
his
impressions
original,
of legends.
right? The Axelmania stuff, or the kind of. I mean, he started off kind of as kind of following his father's footsteps with the Mr. Perfect.
That's
kind
how
of
he
character.
should have stayed.
Yeah, I agree. But anyways, he won the tag team titles with Bo Dallas, so that's not a bad thing for them. And so we'll see where that goes.
Somebody says, "How are you?"
I'm doing well, thank you. Finn Balor took on Baron Corbin. Balor got some new shiny gear and defeated Corbin in about 8 minutes. Really decent match. He won with the roll-up, so I'm wondering if this feud is going to continue. There was really no indication of that on Monday, but who knows, that might.
I like how sometimes the roll-up is usually a sign from producers that they just didn't want to make the other person look weak.
I think that was definitely the case with Corbin, especially if they're going to continue this feud. So then we had for the SmackDown Women's Championship with James Ellsworth suspended above the ring in a shark cage, Carmella defending her title against Asuka. Did we? No, hold on. We predicted Finn was going to win, both of us? Or
For which one?
for Finn versus Corbin?
I wanted Corbin.
You wanted Corbin, I said Finn, okay. So I think we're tied at that point. And who do we predict? Carmella versus Asuka?
I wanted Carmella to win because I felt that Ellsworth was going to manage to sneak out that cage.
Which she did. Did I say Asuka? I think I said Asuka.
I think so.
So there's no how. I don't know what they're doing with Asuka at this point. She was dominating the match, and Ellsworth managed to escape and then ended up hanging from the
Wow.
shark cage like a piñata, and he was being kicked all over the place by Asuka, and that led to Carmella pushing Asuka into the shark cage and getting the victory over her, retaining the SmackDown Women's title. So,
Apparently, one of our audience members wants people to know Christmas is coming soon.
we've got like 5 months. Yeah, 5 months to go. So, technically, it is soon. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with Asuka next. She wasn't on SmackDown.
Wow.
We're gonna find out, I guess, a new number one contender for Carmella next week, because she will take on Becky Lynch in a non-title match, and if Lynch wins, she will get a match against Carmella at SummerSlam. So, and Becky's been on a roll, defeating everyone on the roster.
Hello,
In
another
recent weeks.
audience member saying hello.
Shinsuke Nakamura took on Jeff Hardy, and this is probably the moment of the night, maybe the match of the night. So after the introductions, Shinsuke hit Hardy with a low blow before the match started, and once Hardy was able to stand up, the bell rang, and Shinsuke hit a Kinshasa on Hardy right away and defeated him in 6 seconds to become the new United States champion. Following that, did we both predict Shinsuke?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
so
why
I
have
believe we
called
both-
him a sad clown.
Yeah. Following that, however, we heard Randy Orton's music, and he came out, had a stare down with Shinsuke, and then attacked Jeff Hardy, hitting a devastating low blow on Hardy once again. And it looks like we saw a heel turn, because this past Tuesday in Shinsuke and Jeff's rematch, a Stellar main event, it was interrupted as by Randy Orton as Jeff was about to regain the title, and he absolutely destroyed Jeff, and even took out his ear plug. You know, he has those plugs, and was pulling his ear, and it was absolutely, I mean, it was gross. It was, you had the audience just was freaked out. I was freaked out. I think everyone on social media was freaked out. It was disgusting to look at.
I
But,
think he's the one who put him off the shelf for a bit.
Possibly. I mean, if this continues, I'm assuming this is going to go into SummerSlam, and then maybe Jeff will take time off, but who knows how this is going to go. I don't know if it's going to include the U.S. title. It probably will, so maybe a triple threat. But, yeah, we've officially seen heel Orton return, and so, I mean, that's what he wanted. He said it in interviews, I think, and that's what people want, so we're definitely seeing a heel Randy Orton. In a steel cage match, Kevin Owens took on Braun Strowman. This was a pretty good match, and at the very end, as Owens did a Stone Cold Stunner on Strowman, and then did the DX crotch chop as he was trying to escape, and as he was escaping over the cage, Strowman grabbed him by the throat, and threw him off the top, throwing him onto the announce table, very Mick Foley-like. Owens won the match, which I predicted. I don't know who you said. You said Owens, right? And but he was left, taken out on the stretcher, as Strowman stood tall. So Owens was not on Raw. So I'm wondering how this feud is going to continue, if it does at all. Earlier in the night, the Bludgeon Brothers were seen attacking Team Hell No, which led to an injury to Kane. Apparently, he broke his ankle, and so it was a 2-on-1 handicap match, as the SmackDown Tag Team Championships were on the line when the Bludgeon Brothers took on Daniel Bryan and Kane. Daniel Bryan came out alone at first and kind of had majority of the match against the tag team champions.
Yeah, that's probably another reason why they didn't win the belt.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Kane came out toward the end, and he was wearing like a cast on his leg, but unfortunately, obviously, he was hurt and was unable to go, really help out much. And the Bludgeon Brothers picked up the victory and retained against Team Hell No. And shall we take our first break? Not yet.
We have technical difficulties.
We have technical
accessing it at
difficulties,
the
so
moment.
we're just gonna continue on then. The Miz had a funeral for Team Hell No this past Tuesday on SmackDown. It was hilarious. he was out as he was walking down the ring, down the ramp. He was shaking people's hands and kind of mourning for Team Hell No. He asked people to first moment of silence and everything. And Daniel Bryan came out and kind of attacked Miz, and it looks like we'll be getting Miz versus Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. Maybe. I mean, it was unconfirmed, but it looks like that's the direction they're going with, especially with Kane's injury now. So
Someone says, "What's up?"
nothing much. Nothing much. What's up with you? Thanks for commenting. Next up, we had Bobby Lashley taking on Roman Reigns. Who did you predict for this one?
Bobby Lashley.
All right, so I don't remember who I predicted, but Bobby Lashley won. He beat Roman. And we shouldn't get too excited because they're going to have a rematch next week on Raw.
I know, that makes no sense. Even Lashley responded on social media saying, yeah, well, let's just pretend I didn't already beat him.
Yeah, so essentially, Brock Lesnar was given an ultimatum on Sunday by Kurt Angle, the general manager, to either show up on Monday, defend the title, or pick a date when to defend the title, or relinquish the title. Paul Heyman showed up on Monday and agreed to that Lesnar would fight at SummerSlam and defend the title. And essentially, everyone from the main roster came out and wanted to fight for it. So it ended up being two triple threat matches that would lead to a singles match for next week to declare the number one contender for the Universal title. So it was Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre. And Roman won that match, of course. And then in the main event, it was Elias taking on Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins. And Lashley hit a spear to win that one. So it'll be Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns next Monday on Raw. And the winner will go on to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at SummerSlam. So, in other news, Elias announced that his album is coming out next Monday. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to buy that album. I'm ready for it. So, for the Raw Women's Championship, it was an Extreme Rules match. Alexa Bliss defended against Nia Jax with Ronda Rousey in the front row. Rousey got involved after several minutes, of course, as she was going after Bliss because she was very much taunting her throughout. And however, that led to somehow Mickie James and Bliss were able to overcome the odds and defeat Nia Jax. But the next night, Ronda Rousey showed up, even though she was still suspended, and attacked Bliss and James, and that ultimately led to Kurt Angle giving her an additional week of suspension. However, it also gave her a women's title match at SummerSlam. So we will be seeing Alexa Bliss taking on Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam, the biggest event of the summer, happening in less than 5 weeks. Next up, we had the WWE title match between AJ Styles and Rusev. Really good match, and Aiden English accidentally cost Rusev the WWE title as he took off the turnbuckle pad and was hoping AJ would hit that exposed steel. That was not the case, however, because it ended up being Rusev hitting that exposed steel. So Styles retained in a stellar match. In a main event match, the Iron Man match for the Intercontinental Championship, Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre defeated Seth Rollins in a 5-4 sudden death overtime result after McIntyre got involved at the end for the final fall. Good match throughout. There's not much to say other than these two have great chemistry and they deserve to main event that show. It was announced that we will get Styles' number one contender, Styles' opponent, next week for SummerSlam. So we have that to look forward to. A lot of SummerSlam plans in motion. Did you predict Styles or Rusev? You wanted Rusev.
Yeah.
Rusev, yeah. Okay, so I predicted Styles, and then Dolph, or we both said Dolph. Yeah. All right, and then Bliss or Jax. We both said Bliss, right? All right. So, no breaks this show?
Yeah, I found it.
All right.
It works.
All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Did you know that 71% of students at Long Beach State receive financial aid?
I don't know what was
In
wrong with it. It's
2016,
weird.
Long Beach State awarded $12.3 million in scholarships. Not only that, each year more than 1,500
No, I'm
students
saying I don't know
are
what was
served by
wrong with it. It was
disabled
weird.
student
Huh.
services, leaving no barriers in their path to an education. At the beach, we know no barriers. It's a philosophy that applies to everything we do.
One in 5 students on CSU campuses experience food insecurity while in college, according to a study commissioned by CSU Chancellor Timothy White. The Associated Student Beach Pantry operates as an official food pantry for Long Beach State students. The pantry provides non-perishable food items for students in need. Also housed in the beach pantry is the Student Swap Shop program, aimed at providing students with an opportunity
What?
to swap unneeded or old school
Somebody
supplies.
says, "Are you
The
okay?"
Student Beach Pantry exists on the generous donations of
Somebody says,
students,
"Are you okay?"
staff, community,
Yeah, I'm okay.
and corporate
Yeah, I'm
to
okay.
donate, visit
Fine. I'm great.
ASICSULB.org.
Did you have your eyes
and
closed or
search
something, or what?
Hey, it's Beast Patty B.
And Eddie F. and Diaz.
Telling all you peeps
And you sexy students out there.
to tune in Thursdays at 6 p.m. for our new show,
Ideas.
a talk show here on 22 West Radio about different perspectives and ideas to get you thinking, laughing, and connecting.
You're guaranteed great conversations, amazing radio personalities, and now we're a pure entertainment, leaving you craving for just one more episode.
And we're back with episode 59 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
And as always, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, where we post videos, predictions, and any additional content. We are currently on YouNow with the hashtag,
Ask questions.
and we are currently on YouNow, on Live Me, excuse me.
Yes, and they're very talkative today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for interacting with us. We kind of discussed Raw, the main points already in SmackDown. There's not really a whole much else to discuss. What other news was there?
There was a TNA star who recently got in trouble for drug charges. She's a 2-time knockouts tag team champion who got busted in Japan for drugs.
I did not hear about this. Who is it?
Hanada, I think. But, she was a competitor at the time, but
She's a Japanese wrestler?
yeah.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, that was really shocking to hear about that.
This was in Japan?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's and I don't know. There's so much going on, but it was really something about Hulk Hogan. Like going back to that, it's very shocking. Who knows what's gonna happen? Especially with how there's always repercussions when wrestlers tend to speak out.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very sensitive subject.
Yeah.
So, the wrestlers that did speak out, I think, did it in an appropriate manner.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say anything like, "No, we don't want him back" or anything like that. They were very. They held a certain standard, I guess.
I like how
That's
Miz put it though, or it kind of
He didn't
suggests
know.
it like they were gonna beat it in the match or something.
The interview he did.
Oh, there. I think it's a tweet. He's like,
He did.
as
tweeted-
long as he just like wants to stand in my corner, that's fine. As long as he doesn't step in my
he,
ring.
He didn't know that Hogan was reinstated at that time. It was
Oh.
after he commented something else about that. But yeah, when he made that comment, he didn't know Hogan was reinstated because Miz was actually at the MLB Celebrity
Uh-huh.
game, which by the way he got MVP. So congrats to him. So he did really well. But yeah, he didn't know that Hogan was reinstated until after that comment. And he commented something else, saying, I forgot, I believe he tweeted it, I'm going to look it up right now. But yeah, a lot of different reactions and thoughts. By the way, Miz and Mrs. is coming on Tuesday, the new reality show featuring The Miz and his wife Maurice. So good for them. Let's see. Trying to look it up here. See if I find anything. Was there anything else to discuss?
Well, Titus also kind of like
yeah,
responded
Titus.
to the New Day's comment.
Yeah, he did. He gave his kind of own comment. All right, I'm not seeing the Miz's comment anymore. I don't know if it was on Twitter or, but yeah, he commented something else essentially after that comment. So I guess welcoming Hogan back. But yeah, Titus was also not. I don't think he was a big fan of Hogan coming back. There was actually pictures of him liking some stuff from the WWE universe, of that weren't so fond of Hogan being back. So I'm not really sure if Titus is a big fan there. But Titus Worldwide got decimated by the Authors of Pain on Monday, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Probably not, but yeah, I'm not sure anyone else who responded. I know Zack Ryder responded with a photo of Curtis Axel and Hulk Hogan's gear. So that was a funny response and reaction to Hogan's return. San Diego Comic-Con happens today. It starts today officially for those in San Diego, those Comic-Con lovers. But there's a lot of new action figures and Funko Pops for WWE. I know Xavier Woods is there with Zack Ryder and I believe Kurt Hawkins, and there's a mystery guest that's gonna show up at the Mattel panel. So we have that to discuss for next week's episode, for a big 60th episode. We should do something special for that episode. Maybe we can review Elias's new album. Maybe we can discuss Ms. and Mrs. And I'll be watching NXT this week. Did you catch NXT this week?
No, I didn't.
Well, we found out the number one contender for Shayna Baszler's NXT Women's Championship for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 after a triple threat match between Candice LeRae, Nikki Cross, and Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane ended up picking up the victory there. So we have that to look forward to next week.
Isn't that the one that's always afraid of her?
No, that's Dakota Kai. She had a match at the beginning of the show and she lost to Lacey Evans, the first lady of NXT. So, but next week we will have Aleister Black defending his NXT championship against Tommaso Ciampa.
Spoiler, that's already online.
Oh, I didn't see it, so don't say anything. But yeah, that happened. So, what else?
Rey Mysterio's making headlines. Well, not him necessarily, but the rumor.
That
WWE wants to sign him,
right.
but they don't want him in All In.
That makes sense, but was he confirmed for All In already?
They want to, I guess, withdraw. I don't know.
Oh, okay, so he was confirmed for All In. Yeah, huh. Yeah, I mean, All In is September 1st. By the way, All In is the Cody and Young Bucks kind of venture that they have, the indie show. Speaking of Cody and the Young Bucks, it was confirmed on this week's episode of Being the Elite, which is a YouTube show that the Young Bucks have, that Chris Jericho and the Young Bucks, aka the Alpha Club, will be taking on the Bullet Club, Kenny Omega, Cody, and Marty Scurll on the Cruise of Jericho this October. So it'll be a 6-man tag team match, so that's a big deal. But yeah, on the Rey Mysterio subject, I'm not really sure what they're gonna do with that. I don't know. That's a tough one because he is in the new WWE video game, so I would assume they want him on WWE programming.
I mean, I think he's better off right now not going to WWE. He has so much going on, and it's interesting because, he has that Arrow, right? Is it called Arrows Wrestling? The other promotion he has. Where apparently if you can invest to try to have stock in the company.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard of
And
it.
It's something because I was looking online. I didn't know for a little bit of time. Vince Russo's name popped up there too.
Speaking of Vince Russo, I caught Table for Three this week featuring Bruce Pritchard, Eric Bischoff, and JBL.
Oh
And
yeah.
they mentioned Russo. And it was an interesting conversation. I mean, talking about obviously the Monday Night War and all that stuff. So
I can't believe JBL right away messed up his water.
that's right. You saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. They were drinking alcoholic beverages, so yeah, no time for water there. I also saw the women's one with Alexa Bliss, Lita, and Trish Stratus. That was another good episode. Anything else on the network that did you catch 205?
No,
I haven't
but I
seen
just
it.
saw the table for threes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm behind on a few weeks of 205 Live, but I gotta get back on that. NXT, I'm caught up. I'm excited. Let's see, Monday Night Raw to look forward to next week. Again, we have that Raw Tag Team title match between the B Team and the Deleters of Worlds. Who do you have for that one?
I'm not ready to have the B team lose the belts.
I am, but they're not gonna lose. Interesting note, the last few weeks, the Revival have been seen backstage watching the tag team titles, every tag team title match. So they might be the next contenders for those titles at SummerSlam, but who knows? If they are the next number one contenders, I wonder what that means for Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, where they go from there.
They,
Do they split them up, or, you know, what can we expect there?
remember how in TNA they had that whole like concussion memory problem?
Right. They
That was a
They need to do
interesting
something to
story.
rejuvenate that those gimmicks right there. I feel like they're not doing much with Hardy and Bray.
Oh yeah, I got to see like the first 2 episodes of Monday Night Wars. That was really interesting.
Haven't seen that since it first came out. That's been a few years already.
Oh yeah.
Good episodes.
I'm barely catching up on stuff, but yeah, it's very interesting to hear the early beginnings, specifically how Eric Bischoff took Hall and Nash,
Mm-hmm.
and you know how it affected ratings and legal issues with trademarks.
That's right. They couldn't be obviously Razor and
Yeah, but even just their catchphrases alone for
Oh,
their
yeah.
own characters.
that's right. But they were saying that that's them. You know, it's not their character. That's what they say in general. So yeah. But anyways, what were the first 2? So the first episode was about the Hall and Nash, or
Hall and Nash, I saw like the NWO, and the other was D-Generation X. How like
mm-hmm.
Vince gave Shawn and Triple H creative freedom
Mm-hmm.
because he was desperate in ratings, and he
Right.
saw it was little by little rising.
Mm.
But USA Network being very upset with some of their content,
Yeah.
and Triple H deciding, it's the whole theory of any publicity is good publicity even when it's negative.
Right.
So they literally read the angry letter
Yeah, I
from the
remember that.
USA Network. Wow.
Apparently the network loved it.
Love that response. So,
Wow.
which is really cool. It's a famous kind of that Bill Clinton kind of imitation that Sean gave. Yeah, those are a really good show to look at. The Cruiserweight Classic is a great wrestling show, wrestling tournament. If you want to check that out.
It's coming back, or?
No, the one from 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that one, but
Yeah.
those are stellar matches. The UK tournaments have been great. The Edge and Christian show, have you seen those?
Yes, I saw the first season.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the second.
Yeah, they've taken a while to get that, but that's coming up this fall. What about Camp WWE?
Not yet.
That's a good one too. A nice animated show, adult animated series to look at. Should we get another commercial break?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna be right back after this commercial break.
affordable, professional, and located on the second floor of the USU. Electric Hair has all of your nail and hair needs covered. For an appointment, call 562-958-4522.
Somebody put, when do you think Trump is going to sell Alaska
That's
to Putin?
562-958-4522.
I forgot all about the UNOW ones too. There's a comment from UNOW.
Oh yeah.
Love
Yeah.
before learning,
It
learn for life.
says,
Arts and services
when do you
for
think
Disabled
Trump will sell
Incorporated
Alaska
provides
to
programs
Putin?
and services including enrolled day and outreach programs, gallery
It says,
shows,
when do you
exhibitions, and community
Alaska
partnerships.
will.
We
When do you
really
think Trump will
focus
sell
on
Alaska to
abilities
Putin?
versus disabilities,
What?
allowing
You
people
know, it's
to
weird.
learn to express
Husband?
themselves
I didn't hear.
through
Somebody said,
evidence-based
when do you
music
think
and
Trump
art
will sell
therapy.
Alaska to
And
Putin?
one of our biggest goals here
Oh my
is
God.
to
Oh, man.
create inclusion through creative arts and really bring our population into the community and allow them to be integrated into society.
To donate or for more information about arts and services for disabled, www.artsandservices.org.
Bonjour tout le monde. Is this what you think French music is? Just accordions and waltz? Well, you're wrong! My name is Ricardo Alejandro Pulido, aka Francois, and I'm your host along with my lovely co-host Selene Castañeda, aka Kaz, and we are Francois sur la radio, bringing you SoCal, CSULB, and 22S Radio, all French or French themed music, the good, the bad, the old, and the new, as well as info on CSULB's French Club and anything related to the French culture. Join us for un temps inoubliable or an unforgettable time. Tune in every Tuesday from 9 to 10 p.m. A plus, mes chers amis. Bonsoir et au revoir. Yours truly, Francois.
And we're back with episode 59 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
And as always, you can catch us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, where we post videos and additional content, including predictions and so much more. We are currently on YouNow with the hashtag
Ask questions.
and on Live Me, and you can find us how?
Live pro wrestling radio show. Thank you for the hearts coming in.
Of course, we are also on YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes, or go to Rob's channel, Rob Flores Media. CM Punk and AJ Lee, former WWE superstars, have landed a role on the big screen. The former WWE champions and real-life married couple have been announced as features in the upcoming horror film Rabid. AJ Lee will be playing the character by the name of Kira, while Punk's character, his name is Billy. And the film will be directed by the Soska sisters, who actually directed WWE Studios films See No Evil 2 and Vendetta. Rabid is a remake of David Cronenberg's 1977 classic horror feature film of the same name. The remake will star Laura Vandervoort and Ben Hollingsworth. The official presser of the film can be found elsewhere online. But yeah, CM Punk and AJ Lee are starring in a horror film.
Is this like straight to theater or DVD?
It did not say. It just said Rabid. It's remake of the 1977 horror. So I don't know. It might be straight to theater, but
I'm
It might be straight to
wondering, what is she like? Like, what is AJ Lee like? Okay, because I don't know if you've ever seen the TV show Lucifer on Fox.
no, I haven't.
So there's this one actress who was on it that she was on a post on social media with AJ,
Hmm.
and I'm wondering, like, is she gonna play her? Because I know that when AJ's book came out, that it's like about her life and stuff.
Hmm.
There was talk about a project that's all about her life, filming it.
No, this is a horror film, so it's
Mm.
something different.
Like balancing both, like right now, cause like there's video of this girl and she's like even like boxing now.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm wondering, is AJ also on the side, also like teaching her the regimen that she used to do?
I'm not sure. Who knows? But yeah, that's interesting. Oh, I'm looking up that former TNA knockout that you mentioned.
Uh-huh.
I actually found the news, so let's discuss a little more about that. Here's the press release. Former TNA knockout Ayako Hamada has been sentenced to 18 months in jail in Japan due to possession of stimulants in her home. Last May, she told the promoter of Pro Wrestling Wave that she would be missing an event because she was being held at knife point. It was later revealed that she had tested positive for drugs, and she admitted that she inhaled them through her nose. The sentence may sound harsh, but this is how drug convictions are handled in Japan because they are very strict when it comes to drugs in their country. Hamada, the daughter of legendary Gran Hamada, is a two-time Knockouts Tag Team Champion. Her arrest back in May led to Pro Wrestling Wave and Sendai Girls Pro Wrestling severing ties with her.
Well, I mean, with such a long sentence, she's guaranteed to stay clean.
Yeah, but 18 months, that's a year and a half of in jail. I mean,
Wow.
very serious. They take their stuff very serious in Japan. But, you know, you gotta stay away from drugs. You
Yeah.
know, what can you do? Apparently there's another departure from Impact Wrestling this week. Did you hear about that?
Cool.
Alright, well, I'll read the press release here on WrestlingNews.com. By the way, I'm getting all this info. Sienna is gone from Impact Wrestling.
Oh, okay. She could flap her feathers.
As of this week, Casey Michael at Squared Circle Sirens was told that her contract ended and she did not sign a new deal. She was moved to the Impact Wrestling alumni section earlier this week, but she was probably aware that her time there was coming to an end because she removed Impact Wrestling references from her Twitter bio last week. It had been a while since she was featured on television because she has been dealing with some health issues. She was hospitalized in January, with severe back spasms and sharp pains while breathing. She later found out that she had a blood clot in each of her lungs and hadn't wrestled a match since the January TV tapings. Very serious. She was signed to an Impact Wrestling contract in 2016 and became one of the top female wrestlers in the company. Her wrestling career started in 2008, and she was known by many fans by her real name, Allison Kay. Apparently, things appeared to be looking good for her because her name was part of a list of names that leaked for the Mae Young Classic that's happening later this year. So, it looks like she'll be competing in that Mae Young Classic.
And I wonder how the roster is now then on TNA, but hopefully
They signed Tessa Blanchard last week.
Yeah,
so,
hopefully she stays on the top over there.
Hopefully they could build the division around her. I know Allie is still there. Sue, what's her name? Sue Young or Sue? I don't know. The Undead Princess or Undead Bride. She goes by. I don't watch anymore, but I see stuff online. Yeah.
I wish that it was just a short-term contract though, but I think Tessa Blanchard, from what I hear, is a long-term.
I think it was a long-term deal. They absolutely did that.
I don't know when we'll ever see her and Charlotte.
I know it's two daughters of the Four Horsemen, and Tessa Blanchard is getting a lot of praise. There were a lot of new signees this past week, kind of in the news for the Performance Center. Actually, if I could find info on that.
Oh, I heard Diamond Dallas Page was at the Performance
Diamond
Center.
Dallas Page was at the Performance Center
That's
doing some
cool.
DDP yoga for the Performance Center individuals there. So, I mean, that is really cool. DDP, obviously with his famous DDP yoga, really helps out a number of superstars, including Chris Jericho, Goldust, and many others.
And he had Scott Hall there.
Oh, Scott was there too?
Yeah.
I did not
Took
see
a
that.
selfie with him.
Oh, really? You know, look at that. Didn't catch that. But there were a number of Performance Center signees, if I can find it. Okay, so here are a few of the individuals that will be competing in the second Mae Young Classic. Tegan Knox, Jessica Alaban, Reina Gonzalez, and new WWE Performance Center signee and someone who has competed in NXT before, Deonna Purrazzo. So congrats to her. She's competed in NXT before, but she was never signed to a deal, and she finally signed a deal this week. And so,
I heard the Gunner is over there.
yes, he's been teaming up on the NXT house show circuit. He also got a name change. I think he was going by his real name, and then they changed it last week to something else. So he's been under the group titled the Forgotten Sons. It's a trio, and so he's one of them. But here are some of the recruits. So the WWE Performance Center, this was released by WWE, by the way. The WWE Performance Center celebrated its 5-year anniversary last week and has welcomed its newest class of superstar recruits, ranging from one of the most lauded super heavyweights of the independent wrestling scene to the NCAA champions in basketball, gymnastics, and grappling. The new class is one of the most athletically diverse groups to ever join WWE's training center. Leading the way is Keith Lee, a 6'2", 320-pound former champion from the independent wrestling scene. A native of Texas, Lee was made waves last month as he appeared in the crowd during Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan's NXT title match at NXT TakeOver Chicago 2. Going by the nickname of Limitless on the Indies, Lee has captured many titles during his 13-year career, including the World Wrestling Network Championship and the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Championship. So it goes on to say a number of other things. But another big signing was Japan's Io Shirai, I believe her name is. She was originally announced last month at a live event in Tokyo. Shirai is a multi-time champion of the Tokyo-based World Wonder Ring Stardom, the same organization where NXT's Kairi Sane first made her mark. Also known as the Genius of Sky, Shirai is hailed for her dynamic in-ring style, which combines jaw-dropping aerial moves, technical wrestling, and fierce strikes and suplexes. Deonna Purrazzo from Jefferson, New Jersey also joins the WPC, a former national competitor in cheerleading. She was inspired to become a sports entertainer after watching Hall of Famers such as Trish Stratus and Lita, and began her training in 2012 before making her debut in December 2013. She ascended the ranks of the independent scene, competing in organizations like Ring of Honor, Beyond Wrestling, and East Coast Wrestling Association. Revered for her technical wrestling prowess, Purrazzo has submitted many opponents with her feared Fujiwara armbar. She has also wrestled in England, Puerto Rico, Canada, and Japan, including Tokyo's world-famous Korakuen Hall. Other competitors include Stacey Irvin Jr., Luke Menzies, Taishon Dong, and Lacey Lane, along with Monique Jenkins, Denzel Jordanic, interesting last name, all of which are official signees. And as we come to the conclusion of our show, be sure to catch up on all of your Beyond the Ropes news at facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. Of course, Live Me, and YouTube is where you can find all our content. Thank you for tuning in. Next week we're going to have, again, I'm going to try and listen to Elias' new album coming out. Ms. and Mrs. comes out on Tuesday. Of course, we have Raw, SmackDown, all the news leading up to SummerSlam. We got NXT 205 Live, and so much more to discuss. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
And this episode is about to be deleted.